Hi everyone, I'll start by telling you a bit about my Wattle journey. I was initially drawn to the Wattle Fellowship because it is highly multidisciplinary. My time in the program has challenged me to consider the different perspectives on sustainability that each fellow brings to the program. Multidisciplinary thinking is one aspect of urban planning that I enjoy the most because it involves bringing together the disparate interests of a multitude of stakeholders. I realized that many in the audience might not know what urban planning is. So have you visited a local park, taken public transport, or chanced upon a wetland in the middle of a suburb? Urban planning is the hidden force that makes sure our cities and towns function well. A chief goal of planning is to balance growth with social and environmental outcomes. Here I'd like to acknowledge that while the planning system has been built on the terra nullius assumption, it also has the potential to honor traditional owners' connection to country. This requires listening, communication, and empathy, which I believe are core traits that future leaders must possess in response to rapid urbanization and climate change. My passion for sustainability is driven by three core motivations. They are the betterment of societal health and well-being, environmental stewardship, and the role of the built environment in shaping our lives. My Wattle project, which stems from my honours thesis, sits at the intersection of these three domains. I'm asking, can active transport and urban forest strategies talk to each other to achieve common public health goals? While my research looks at the city of Melbourne, I believe this is relevant to cities around the world. So why this project? Go back. We begin with a global problem, and that problem is the growing burden of non-communicable diseases, such as cardiovascular disease and cancer. This visualization done by our world in data shows how the disease burden for non-communicable disease has risen from just over 40% in 1990 to over 60% in 2019. This trend is even more pronounced in Australia. At this point, you might be asking, what does this have to do with planning? The social determinants of health are the set of wider conditions that shape people's lives and health outcomes. The built environment can influence transport mode, which influences health outcomes. So allow me to run a survey. So I'd like you to put your hand up if the statement applies to you and keep your hand up, and put your hand down if I read a statement that then doesn't apply to you. Hopefully not too complicated. Ready? So hands up if you ride your bike for leisure, or just to get around to work, to study, or to run an errand, so keep your hand up. How many of you would still ride if there wasn't good bike lanes or infrastructure? How many of you would still ride on a 30-degree day? On a 40-degree day? That's good enough, thank you. Well, cycling as a form of transport can tackle physical inactivity at a population level. Research modelling 6 cities reveals the estimated health gains from active transport, and that's quite a lot. But as we have demonstrated, rising surface temperatures are a barrier to achieving active transport goals and also put people at risk of heat-related illness. One key way that urban planning can offer a solution is through increasing tree canopy, which has a cooling effect on our cities. However, it's not enough to say that we want more trees. We also need our trees to be aligned to where urban heat poses the greatest threat. So to sum up, we have a wicked problem on our hands. The interaction between non-communicable diseases and urban heat is complex and does not have a single solution, as we've talked about just now during the panel. In the Melbourne context, cycling is presented as a solution to tackling non-communicable disease. But if transport and urban forest strategies do not align, we may end up with a legacy of infrastructure that is ill-equipped to achieve a healthy and cool city. My research will continue to examine the intersection of Melbourne's active transport, urban forest, and well-being strategies. While each of these strategies might be gaining momentum, they will be more effective in dealing with the complexity of wicked problems when working in tandem. With the support of the Wattle Fellowship, I will translate my academic research into a format that will influence decision makers in cities to break down disciplinary silos for human and planetary health. I'd love to chat to you more about my project, which is find out about what brought you here tonight. And thank you so much for listening.